Cowboys Nation. Welcome to your ultimate destination for all things Dallas Cowboys. From the latest news, game analyses, rumors, to deep dives into player performances and strategies, we've got you covered. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a play. Let's dive into everything you need to know about America's team. It finally happened. After weeks of rumors, speculation, and the usual Dallas drama, the Cowboys have made their move. Ben Johnson, the offensive mastermind behind the Detroit Lions' resurgence, is now officially the new head coach of America's team. Let that sink in. Jerry Jones, known for his flair for the dramatic, didn't just pull a rabbit out of the hat this time. He brought in the hottest name on the coaching market. And with that decision, everything changes in Big D. Again, let's rewind a bit. The Cowboys entered the 2024 offseason in typical Cowboys fashion, full of promise, disappointment, and questions swirling around Mike McCarthy's future. After another early playoff exit, the frustration was palpable. Fans were furious. Pundits were ruthless. And Jerry? Well, Jerry Jones was Jerry Jones, stoic, vague in interviews, but clearly stewing. He knew something had to give. And as usual, he wanted to make a splash. Ben Johnson's name had already been buzzing around the NFL like wildfire. At just 38 years old, Johnson was seen as the next great offensive guru. His work with Jared Goff in Detroit turned heads. He took a quarterback many had written off and made him look like a pro bowler again. He revived a dormant Lions offense and turned it into one of the most balanced and dangerous attacks in the league. Creative play, calling, adaptability, maximizing players' strengths. This guy wasn't just a good coach, he was a modern offensive architect. So, of course, every team with a head coaching vacancy had him on speed dial. The Commanders wanted him. The Panthers reportedly went all in. Even the Seahawks showed interest. But when Jerry Jones sets his mind on someone, money, power, and control tend to follow. The Dallas Cowboys didn't just want Ben Johnson, they needed him. And now they've got him. The hire sends a clear message. The Cowboys are done messing around. Johnson steps in as the youngest Cowboys head coach in decades. And yet he brings with him a resume that demands respect. But let's not sugarcoat it. This isn't a fairy tale setup. Johnson is walking into one of the most pressure-cooked jobs in all of sports. Coaching the Cowboys isn't just about XS and OS. It's about handling the media spotlight, dealing with ownership involvement, managing massive egos in the locker room, and doing it all while being expected to win now. And that's the thing. Ben Johnson doesn't have the luxury of a rebuilding year. This isn't the Panthers or the Texans where a coach can grow with the team. No, the Cowboys are built to win immediately. They've got a star quarterback in Dak Prescott, though his contract situation adds a layer of uncertainty. They've got CeeDee Lamb, one of the best receivers in the league. They've got a defense headlined by Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. The roster is talented. The expectations? Even higher. So what does Ben Johnson bring that Mike McCarthy didn't? Innovation, flexibility, and perhaps most importantly, a modern understanding of how to maximize offensive production in today's NFL. Under McCarthy, the Cowboys' offense often felt stale, predictable, even robotic. In contrast, Johnson's play designs with the Lions were dynamic and unpredictable. He wasn't afraid to lean on the run game when it was working. He wasn't afraid to call deep shots when defenses crept up. He adapted in real time, something the Cowboys desperately lacked. But it's not just about scheme, it's about leadership. By all accounts, Johnson is beloved by his players. He's a communicator, a motivator, and someone who earns respect, not demands it. That's crucial in a locker room like Dallas, where personalities can sometimes become louder than production. Of course, there will be doubters. There always are in Dallas. Some will point out that Johnson has never been a head coach, that the jump from coordinator to leading one of the most scrutinized franchises in sports is a massive leap. And they wouldn't be wrong. There's a learning curve. Mistakes will happen. Growing pains are inevitable. But here's the kicker. If there's one place where calculated risk can lead to stardom, it's Dallas. The Cowboys thrive on narrative. They live for the story. And Ben Johnson's story is just getting started. Imagine, just for a second, what it would look like if this hire works. If Johnson finds a way to unlock the best version of Dak Prescott. If he crafts an offense that not only scores points but controls the tempo, protects the defense, and adapts in big moments. If he makes the Cowboys dangerous again in January. That's the dream Jerry Jones is betting on. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. And speaking of Jerry, let's talk about the man who made this happen. Jones has always been known as a hands-on owner, sometimes to his own detriment. Many coaches have struggled under his watch simply because they weren't allowed to operate freely. But early reports suggest that Johnson made it clear during the interview process. He wanted autonomy. He wanted input on staff decisions. He wanted a real say in how the team was built. If Jerry agreed to those terms, and let's be honest, he had no choice, then we might just see a different dynamic in Dallas. One that gives Johnson the room he needs to thrive. What's next? Well, Johnson's first order of business will be assembling his staff. Eyes will be on who he picks as his defensive coordinator. Will Dan Quinn be convinced to stay? Unlikely. He's off to Washington. But that opens the door for Johnson to bring in fresh ideas on both sides of the ball. He'll also need to evaluate the quarterback position, especially with Dak entering a contract year. Does he believe in Dak long-term? Does he want to draft a QB to develop behind him? That question alone could define his tenure. And don't overlook free agency in the draft. Johnson's offensive philosophy leans heavily on strong offensive line play and versatile backs. Will the Cowboys invest more in the trenches? Will they look for a second receiving option to take pressure off Lamb? These are the types of questions that will shape the next phase of Cowboys football. But let's take a moment here and zoom out. This hire is about more than just football. It's about identity. For too long, the Cowboys have coasted on their brand, the star, the history, the TV ratings. But they've lacked an identity on the field. They've lacked an edge. Ben Johnson brings the possibility of a new identity, one that's creative, aggressive, and unafraid of the moment. Time will tell, of course, but one thing is certain, the Cowboys didn't just make a move. They made the move. And now, all eyes are on Ben Johnson. Let the new era begin. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.